The life of a monster hunter isn't all exciting and dangerous missions. The majority of the time it's chores, maintenance, and what we call human bait and wait missions. This was one of those missions. There had been a cluster of sightings and close encounters with a half-man, half-goat creature that had all come in a 2-week period. The townspeople that were being terrorized by this goat man were understandably growing restless. They were afraid that the sightings were only the beginning of something more violent, and wanted the creature dealt with before anything worse happened. Eventually, I got the call to go and investigate. After talking to the townspeople and getting a better idea of what was going on and what I might be dealing with, I came up with a plan. I decided to stay with a family that lived a few miles outside of town. Their farm had been the site of 3 different sightings, and their cattle had apparently been attacked. I wanted to take a look at the cow's dead body, but they, unfortunately, had already burned it. The plan I had come up with was simply to sit and wait. The goat man had been incredibly active in the recent weeks, and it was only a matter of time before he reared his little goat head around town. I made sure all the outside lights of the farm were off, and the only lights on were the house lights. I wanted to create a beacon in the darkness to lure the goat man in. The outside was pitch black, hopefully tempting him to creep in, and when he did, I would be waiting. This went on for 4 or 5 days. I stayed up at night, sleeping during the day, all the time patiently waiting for him to take the bait. I wasn't having any luck, though. I worried that I had made my presence too well known when I arrived in town, possibly scaring the creature off. The next night was going just like all the others, a whole lot of nothing going on. I was parked in the family's easy chair watching TV when I heard what sounded like the family's father calling out for his son. I turned down the television to see if it had been the show I was watching. I listened intently but didn't move. It called out again. I checked a small display I had next to me to see where the family members were. I made them all wear GPS trackers so I could keep tabs on them. I could see that they were all tucked away in their beds, safe and sound. I couldn't help but grin. Finally, it was the goat man. That idiot had taken the bait. I stayed inside the house for a little bit more. I wanted to get him anxious and frustrated. I heard him call out again for the sun to come outside. Suddenly, the light for the workshop turned on. The goat man called out again. I didn't want to grab my rifle. I didn't think I needed it. By that point in my career, I had dealt with enough creatures and freaky happenings that my senses had dulled. Instead of fear, I was feeling excitement. I didn't see the goat man outside. I saw a paycheck. I made my way out to the workshop and slowly went around to the side. It kept calling out, getting quieter, approaching a whisper the closer I got. I was maybe 20 feet away when I finally got a good look at him. Sure enough, it was a half-man, half-goat, hair matted in different shades of dirty gray. Its eyes were shining in the workshop lights and glowed a blood red. I stopped as soon as I saw him. "What are you doing over there, fuzzy nuts?" I asked him in a calm and teasing way. His blood-red eyes opened wide, looking a bit stunned at my comment. "John?" He repeated the son's name, this time more confused than anything. "Nope, you got me tonight." There was a pause and the two of us looked at each other in a stalemate. I broke the silence. "Well, come on, get out here so I can kill you. I'm in the middle of a show and I want to see how it ends." I waved my handgun, gesturing for him to come out of his hiding place. He shook his head in defiance, causing me to go from annoyed to straight up angry. "Seriously, get out here. I don't have all night." Again he shook his head no, before exclaiming, "John!" pointing his gangly arm to the house behind me. I turned around to check. I knew immediately when I saw no one behind me that I had fallen for the oldest trick in the book. Quickly I turned back to the workshop, but the goat man was gone. Disappointed and angry with myself, I rushed to the back of the shop, gun up, ready to take him down if I had to. But he had completely disappeared. I could hear branches and leaves being crushed in the darkness as he made his getaway. "Bastard," I said to myself. "I'll get you, fuzzy nuts. You can't hide forever," I yelled out into the darkness. I stayed in the town for another week. The sightings and reports of the goat man died out, and once I felt confident he had moved on, I snuck out of town, trying not to make a huge deal that I was leaving, partly out of embarrassment and partly so he didn't see me leave and immediately kick things off again. It's only a matter of time until he shows up, though, and I hope that I'm the one who gets the call to go investigate. I've got a score to settle with him.